Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Marilyn Herrol. Marilyn Herrol was a 10-year-old girl living in Chicago's South Side in 1973. Marilyn had a twin sister named Carolyn. They lived with their mother Elsie just 3 blocks from George Washington Carver Park on Chicago's South Side. Their apartment complex at 13163 South Corliss Avenue appears very neat and well maintained on Google Earth today. The apartments were built to house returning African American World War II veterans and their families. Chicago had a lot of manufacturing, and after the war, there was a huge push to get the country started again and get factories converted from wartime production to post-war production. And everybody was getting married. All those returning veterans were getting married, having children, and trying to move on in a peaceful society, and glad that the war was over. And so housing was built to try to house all these new families out there. And so that's how that complex came to be. On Sunday, March 25th, 1973, Carolyn and her mother could not find Marilyn. Carolyn had last seen her at 11 p.m. Elsie called the police and reported her daughter missing. I wonder if the paper actually meant to report that Carolyn last saw her at 11 a.m. It seems odd that 10-year-old little girls would be up at 11 p.m. But maybe it was spring break and nice weather and everyone was playing outside later in the evening. If there's a rare warm day in March, everyone would want to be taking advantage of that nice spring day in the Midwest. I know I would have been doing that at 10 years old. I would have been running around as late as they would let me. The newspaper article does not mention where Carolyn had last seen her sister. Were they outside? Were they inside at home? That's not clear, but I imagine that they were playing outside. If Marilyn had been taken from inside her home, I feel like that surely would have been mentioned in the article. Shortly after the phone call, the police were searching the nearby park. Marilyn was found face up in a cluster of some bushes. The location was described as being near Carver High School and Isaac Newton Elementary. Isaac Newton Elementary appears to be gone now, but it was once there, not too far from Carver High School. This park is a sprawling place. It has playgrounds and baseball fields. It's named after George Washington Carver. It's a beautiful place. The Little Calumet River lies to the south of the park and curves around to form an oxbow. Little Marilyn Herrol was found only clothed in a skirt and socks. Some other clothing was found nearby, but police did not think that it belonged to Marilyn. The only article I could find on this case states that tests would be conducted to determine if Marilyn had been sexually assaulted. It seems likely to me that that was the purpose of abducting her, and the reason why she was found without her clothes, some of her clothes. She had bruises, cuts, and scrapes on her face and mouth. Marks around her neck made it obvious that the 10-year-old had been strangled. Officer William Campbell of the Kensington District spoke with the newspaper about this tragedy, but there are no follow-up articles. I can find nothing online about the investigation. Newspapers in 1973 paid little attention to the African American neighborhoods. It's very difficult to research cold cases from this era. There were no pictures of Marilyn in the papers. That's why I've just chosen a silhouette of a little girl and what I imagine might have looked a little bit like Marilyn. There were no interviews with the family, and there was only that one article. It's very rare to find elementary age yearbooks online of any from any background. In the 70s, those elementary yearbooks were usually mimeographed and stapled paperback copies. They were flimsy, did not hold up well, so most of them didn't stick around. You know, over the years and moving and different things, they would fall apart and be discarded. It's also very difficult to find school yearbooks from predominantly African American schools, I've noticed. I haven't found any family members online either. Therefore, I can't find a photo of Marilyn. That makes me terribly sad. I wish we could all know what she looked like. It seems to me that in schools where the population was predominantly African American, that photographers at the time didn't bother extending the practice of taking school pictures and selling, trying to sell the prints of the pictures and making the yearbook and all that. I don't think that was taking place as much in African American schools as it was in white schools. So just one more example of racism. Hopefully, in Marilyn's case, investigators did conduct a rape kit test, and hopefully they saved evidence in this case. Marilyn was just a little girl. She deserves to still be here. She deserves justice. I cannot imagine how this tragedy affected this family. Carolyn lost not just a sister, but her twin. I cannot imagine the grief that her mother, Elsie Herrol, must have felt. Marilyn was only 10. She was just a little girl. She should have been free to play and learn and grow up. Instead, she was stolen from the world. If you have information about the murder of Marilyn Herrol, please contact the Chicago Police at 312-746-6000. You can also submit a tip at the bottom of this webpage that I'll post in the comments section of this video. Rest in peace, Marilyn Herrol. Thank you for listening to this case. There's always hope that a case can be solved, and I think there's still hope even in this case from 1973. So if you also have hope that a case can be solved, hit that thumbs up button for justice. You're not liking this murder, you're not liking this terrible thing that happened, but every time somebody touches that thumbs up button, this video gets a little bit better chance of being seen by more people. If you also share the video, please share the videos. That way they can get in front of more people. And if you want to see more murder cases from the Midwest that you might possibly have information to help solve, you might be able to solve this case. Consider hitting that little bell icon off to the right side and subscribe to this channel. Every little bit of attention helps in these cases. Cases that get attention are cases that get solved. Thank you for listening.